Good day, good night, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you are, whatever time it is, welcome to another one of our videos. In this video, we're going to deal with a special topic, a topic that runs through a lot of areas in your CSEC math syllabus. This topic is the topic of quadratic factorization. So up to this point, you would have gone through the basic factorization. You have gone through factorization by groupings, and now we are here at a point where they all converge in one place, where you're factorizing quadratic expressions. In continuing, I want to introduce you to the document that you'll be using. Quadratic factorization, for all this is something that I put together, so I wouldn't be using a book for this particular segment. Alright? This is something that I put together when I was teaching on campus back in 2007 to 2012. So I would have put this together sometime around 2012 there, as you will see in the copyright note. Alright? So we have what I want you all to do. What I want you all to do is to read page 1. Alright? Read page 1. I'm not going to go through that in the video. In this video, all I will do is go through the examples, and then of course, as we always do, we leave you with the questions to do at the end. Alright? So if you go down to page 10, on page 10 you have the answers, and on page 9 you have the questions. So this document comes with 30 questions to practice, and one day not too long from now I will upgrade it and put even more, so that people have more opportunity to practice. But most people would get the hang of it by the time they do 10, 20, 30 questions. Alright? And of course, you could always find more questions if you really want to find more questions. Alright, so now that you have gone through the read up on page 1, where we discussed the products and method, I'm going to go through the examples now. Alright? First one of my favorite quadratics. Alright, they want us to factorize x squared minus 3x plus 2. Alright? So rule 1, right? You give them a equal 1. Okay, let me not do this. You have everything written there, just follow. What I will do is write certain parts of it, and then when you have the opportunity to work it, you work it. Alright? So just as you see it typed here, that is exactly what you're going to write when you're writing your work. Alright? I didn't type it like that just for style. I type it there because that is the template that I want you to follow. Alright? So first step is to consider the general form of the quadratic ax squared plus bx plus c. In this case, a is equal to 1, b is equal to minus 3, and c is equal to 2. Alright? So you multiply a by c. In this case, you multiply 1 by 2. 1 by 2 is equal to 2. Now, you're looking to factorize 2, which is where the work really comes in this particular type of factorization. Right? So 1 by 2 is 2. 1 by 2 is equal to 2. 2 is equal to, right? 2 is equal to 1 by 2, or is equal to minus 1 by minus 2. Alright? That one is pretty straightforward, because you're looking for two factors of 2, which will sum to give you a minus 3. In other words, when you add these two factors of 2, you're supposed to get minus 3 as the answer. Alright? In this case, the answer is clearly minus 1 and minus 2. So then we write this over as x squared minus 2x minus x plus 2. Alright? In which case we then have x. Now we factorize by grouping. So you see where the grouping re-enters the picture. Alright? So the first thing is to multiply a by c, which is equal to 2 is equal to 1 by 2, which is equal to 1, or 1 minus 1 by minus 2. Having gotten your factors, as you will see there on page 2, look at step 4. You rewrite the original expression as x squared minus x minus 2x, or x squared minus 2x minus x. So what I will do is that I will write it over in the alternate form on the board, and in the document you have the other form. So in the document you have x squared minus x minus 2x. On the board you have x squared minus 2x minus x. All of this to demonstrate that it doesn't matter whether you put minus x minus 2x or minus 2x minus x. Answer will be the same. So here now your next step would be you take this and you factorize. X into x minus 2, alright, let us say plus minus 1 into x minus 2, alright. Put the brackets here for protection. You have x minus 2, so this will then be x into x minus 2 minus x minus 2, which is the common factor. So now you can take x minus 2 out as the common factor, and I'm going to just change the color of the ink here because we're going to steal some space on the board. So the final answer from here would be x minus 2 into x minus 1. Alright? And that is the sum of that. So with these videos, I want you to really not try to hurry this thing down. These are not things to hurry down. You need to take your time, as much time as you need to take to get this down, because you will be relying on these tools in harder questions to come. So they will come as a separate topic on their own, and then you'll be using them in other topics to solve questions. So that is example 1. So here you have x minus 2 by x minus 1. In the document you have x minus 1, x minus 2. Same difference. 2 by 3 is 6, 3 by 2 is 6. Alright, so we're looking now at example 2 in this document. Quadratic factorization using the product sum method. Factorize 6x squared plus 2x plus 3. So as you see typed out here, step 1, a is equal to 6, b is equal to 23, and c is equal to 7. You multiply 6 by 7 in step 2 to give you 42. So 6 by 7 is equal to 42, which is equal to, so what I did is that I wrote down all the factors here as you will see in the document. Alright, so as you get better in these topics, what you will find happening is that sometimes you'll be able to pick out the factors immediately without going all the way from 1 to going on the way, right? So what I will do in this one is to just, well, you see it here, right? You start with 1, and then you go 2, and then you go 3. So 1, of course, is 1 by 42 or minus 1 by minus 42. 42 is 2 by 21 or minus 2 by minus 21. And if you needed to go further, you would have gone further until you got into 6 by 7 or minus 6 by minus 7, as you see here on page 3. And of course, the two factors which will add to give you 23, which is the coefficient in the middle here, would be 2 by 21. Alright, so then you write this over as 6x squared plus 2x plus 21x plus 7. And here now you factorize by grouping. So you have 2x into 3x plus 1 plus 3x, plus 7x plus 7 into 3x plus 1, and then you take the 3x plus 1 on the outside into 2x plus 7, and that's the answer. So 3x plus 1 is the common factor, you take it out, so you get 3x plus 1 into 2x plus 7, which is exactly what I have here. So if I had put 21x in front and 2x behind, if I had written this over as 21x plus 2x, alright, what you would have, I'm going to do a quick rub off here, you'd have had, let us see, 3x into 2x plus 7, right? 3x into 2x plus 7 plus 1 into 2x plus 7, which will give you 2x plus 7 as the common factor into 3x plus 1. Same difference, alright? So in this example, I was able to quickly shift from 2x plus 21x to 21x plus 2x in the middle here, right? Remember that what you're doing is writing this over. You're writing this original expression over as this. The only thing you're changing is that you're expressing 23x as 21x plus 2x or 2x plus 21x. Alright, and to get from here to here, you have to go through here. So this is the part where you find the products, and this is the part where you find the sum. And that is why they call it the product sum method. Alright, so we have example 3 now. 2x squared plus 5x minus 12. So just as we did for examples 1 and 2, I'm not going to go all out in terms of writing over stuff that you already have before you. Alright, I'm just going to go through it. Alright, so your first step is A is equal to 2, B is equal to 5, C is equal to minus 12. You multiply 2 by minus 12 to get minus 24. So you see here, 2 by minus 12 is equal to minus 24. Minus 24 equal, right? So in interest of space and time, I'll just write minus 3 by 8 here. But if you needed to, you have the option of going through all the factors from 1, 2, 3, 4 going up there. Alright, and as I said before, you will get to the point eventually after sufficient practice where you'll look at a sum like this and you'll know, alright, 24 is 8 by 3. So you know it's 8 and you know it's 3 to give you the 5. So the only question is what combination of 8 and 3 will give you plus 5. Because, and I want you to take a note of this, if the question instead of being 2x squared plus 5x minus 12 was 2x squared minus 5x minus 12, right? Same 2y minus 12 to give you minus 24. But in this case, we're looking for minus 5x as opposed to looking for plus 5x here. So in this case, instead of using minus 3 by 8 as we did over here to give you 5, we would use minus 8 and 3 on this side. Alright? So what I will do, seeing that we're here already, and this is the nice thing about the math, this is the nature of it. Sometimes these things come up spontaneously as you're talking. And you have the opportunity now to expand it a little bit and to go a little deeper in the teaching process. Alright, so what I will do is work these two side by side so that you will see the difference between 2x squared plus 5x minus 12 and 2x squared minus 5x minus 12. Alright, so we establish in both cases that A would be 2 and C would be minus 12. In the case in black here, your A would have been, your B would have been 5, and in the case in blue here, your A would have been, your B, sorry, would have been minus 5. Alright? In both cases, the AC that we're looking at is minus 24. 2 by minus 12 is minus 24. 2 by minus 12 is also minus 24. However, in this case, we're looking at 8 and the minus 3 as the factors. So when we write this over, we will have 2x squared plus 8x minus 3x minus 12. And in this case here in blue, In this case here in blue, we have 2x squared minus 8x plus 3x minus 12. Alright, so let me just write this over so you can see it. 2x squared plus 8x minus 3x minus 12. Note very carefully the difference. On this side you have plus 8 minus 3x to give you 5x. In this side you have minus 8 plus 3x to give you minus 5x. So now we factorize as before. Factorize by groupings. You have 2x into x plus 4 minus 3 into x plus 4. In this case here, you will have 2x into x minus 4 plus 3 into x minus 4. Alright. In this case here, you have x plus 4 as a common factor. X plus 4 into 2x minus 3. And in this case, you have x minus 4 into the same, no, not the same, with the 2x plus 3. Alright? So, looking at these two side by side, and having, as you do, the opportunity to rewind the video at your own leisure and at your own pleasure. Alright, I want you to understand the difference between minus 24 as 8 by minus 3 and minus 24 as minus 8 by 3. Because this is a very common mistake that people make. Alright? Here, most people will get to 2 by minus 7 is minus 24, fine. A lot of people will get to realizing that minus 24 is either 8 by minus 3 or minus 3 by 8. At that point, people will start mixing up the two. Right? So you have to be very, very careful in what you do. Right? Don't mistake minus 8 plus 3 for minus 3 plus 8. Big difference. Big difference. And if this question is worth 2 marks, then you make that mistake and you're sure you lose at least 1 mark. Right? Depending on who corrects it, you might lose both marks as well. Alright? So I really like this example, and I think all things considered, I could stop here where these are concerned, because you have in the remainder of the document examples 4, 5 and 6, where we're basically going through the same procedure using different numbers. Alright? So pay careful attention to this topic. This is one of the pivotal topics in your CSEC Maths exam. Alright? So go over the video. You have the questions to practice on page 8 and 9, and then you have the answers on page 10. Alright? Don't be lazy now. Don't be lazy. Laziness is not an option. Alright? So work hard, do good, and do it good.